One of the most unfair fights on cable news these days is Democrat Pete Buttigieg versus anybody at Fox News. Buttigieg is unbeatable and undefeated, but the Fox News channel, a glutton for punishment and humiliation, keeps asking for more. So Buttigieg just delivered live on Fox and Friends at the Democratic Convention. Host Lawrence Jones started with GOP talking points about scripted Biden cabinet meetings and limited Biden hours.
Is this the reason why he's no longer the nominee for your party?
It's funny. Sometimes I feel like conservative media and the Republican Party still think they're running against Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. He had an opportunity last night to demonstrate his achievements, right? The fact that he is responsible, for example, for the biggest run of job growth in the history of the American presidency. I think in any job, but especially the presidency, you want to be judged by your results. People want to nitpick the show flow of a cabinet meeting when we have had a country that, when he inherited it, was in a condition where you couldn't even approach the Capitol because of the violent assaults on the Capitol by Trump supporters.
Transportation Secretary Buttigieg was just getting warmed up. Lawrence Jones, who got assigned this interview, perhaps because Brian Kilmeade and Peter Doocy knew better, tried to pin down Buttigieg on President Biden's decline.
I just want to know, when did you guys know that the president was unfit to be on your ticket?
The president is not unfit.
So why is he not the nominee right now?
Because he did something that Donald Trump cannot comprehend, which is to put his ego aside.
I just want to get my question out. Why do you guys wait to the last minute to switcheroo after everyone saw? Can I just finish my question? And I'll let you answer, Mr. Secretary. But you guys waited until after the debate, where everybody in America saw what happened that day. And all of these reports are coming out that you guys knew behind the scenes, that cabinet members were frustrated, that he couldn't do the negotiations with Nancy Pelosi, and that she had to take it over.
What negotiations with Nancy Pelosi? When
the
was he
debt ceiling in
negotiating with
2003, when it came down to the debt ceiling negotiations, that she had to take it over because he didn't know the talking points.
He won the debt ceiling negotiations. That's the point. You can go over whether he slips up and says one name when he wants to say another name, or you can look at what he's actually accomplished as president. It turns out he's really good at being president of the United States.
Boom! Down goes Lawrence Jones. Stay down, Lawrence. Stay down. Throw in the towel. But Lawrence Jones got back up only to get crushed once again. Jones tried to catch his breath by talking about crime and inflation, but as is the predictable style on Fox News, especially Fox and Friends, Jones got the statistics and trends wrong. Pete Buttigieg, while smiling and with a glimmer in his eye, delivered a beating to Jones and Fox News live on Fox News that was a pummeling for the ages.
Biden-Harris record of bringing crime down compared to why crime went up under Donald Trump. And I often wonder, whether viewers of this network are aware that violent crime went up under Donald Trump. I think that deserves more coverage so we can ask ourselves why. And some of that has to do with policy, but some of that has to do with the message we send. When you have Donald Trump, an unrepentant convicted criminal, running against a prosecutor like Kamala Harris, we have an opportunity to send a message about whether we're serious on law and order in this country, or whether it's a talking point, whether it's just something people try to use as a political theme for partisan gain. You want to talk about inflation? Inflation went up in every country after COVID, but we brought inflation down in this country. Of course, the most important question, every election is about the future, right? And in the future, economists predict that the Trump plan will increase costs for American families by $3,900. So why would we go back to somebody who's going to make it worse?
Why would we go back to somebody who's going to make it worse? Well, Jones didn't answer that. Instead, the Fox host, who was determined to try and go the distance despite the rope-a-dope humiliation, tried one more tactic. Jones, who calls himself a libertarian, noted the recent murders in the city of Chicago.
There was over 20 people shot last week, 5 people shot over the weekend.
Then why would we elect leaders who won't do anything about gun violence?
Well, it's the Democrats that run the city. Name the Republican that is in charge.
All right, but this is really important, right?
No, tell me. One Republican in charge of Chicago.
Well, hold on.
Name them.
Listen to me, because not only did we have those levels of crime under Democratic and Republican leaders, right? But people try to cherry pick this for partisan purposes. You want to play that game?
It's not partisan.
We can talk about
I told you, Mr. Mayor, they look like me, not you.
Yeah, and so is the case in Boston, where there is a much lower murder rate, and also a Democratic mayor. We could talk about how the murder rate in Mississippi is double what it is in Illinois. Now, I could go around saying that the murder rate in Mississippi is double what it is in Illinois because Mississippi has a Republican governor and Illinois has a Democratic governor. But you and I both know it just doesn't work that way.
I got you, Mr. Mayor.
Translation? Thank you for crushing me on live television on my own network. I will now go to HR and collect my hazard pay bonus. In all seriousness, any conservative who thinks he or she can do an adversarial interview with Pete Buttigieg and not get leveled is a fool. At 42 years old, Pete Buttigieg is a former mayor, former winner of a Democratic presidential primary, serves as transportation secretary, and has done countless interviews on conservative media where he pushes back at GOP talking points and flips them effortlessly. There was a lot of talk that if Kamala Harris defeats Donald Trump, Buttigieg will be her Secretary of State. My hope is that a Harris administration asks Buttigieg to be White House press secretary. Seeing him make mincemeat of the White House press corps every day would be a daily joy. He is literally the most effective on-camera advocate and spokesperson in politics today. Lawrence Jones just found that out the hard way in brutal fashion. By the way, another Fox host, Kayleigh McEnany, just got destroyed on her show by a Democratic analyst.
Safe, legal, and rare was the Democratic mantra in 2008.
On Fox News, that is host Kayleigh McEnany. She's blaming Democrats for problems with abortion.
What happened to that, Marie?
Well, first, let's go back to our Fox polling from this morning.
Marie Harf, the lone Democrat on the show, is about to destroy McEnany.
That abortion and health care are the third and fourth highest ranked issues that voters care about. On the first, Kamala Harris outpolls Donald Trump by 16 points, and on health care by 11. And I think one of the reasons for that is because Kamala Harris and other national Democrats have talked about abortion as health care, which it is.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.